Welcome to the Nerd Party.
Scully,
Yes?
marry me.
I love you and I like you.
I love you and I like you.
I love that woman. I love her more than sharks love blood.
I love you.
You don't.
Hello, this is Nerd Nuptial episode 41, and I'm the girl.
And I'm Tristan Riddell. Thank you so much for listening and subscribing. I want to thank you guys. Personally, we want to thank you guys because last week was launch week, relaunch week of the Nerd Party, and it was a huge success.
Yeah, we're so excited about the new shows coming on and your excitement about them. So thanks for listening and
Retweeting.
spreading the word.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of you not only retweeted and favorited and liked or reposted or whatever social media account you were on about these new shows, but you guys also talked to your friends about them. You shared them. You shared the links with your friends, and it really was appreciated because we have 7 shows now, and it's just so much fun. We have so many great voices coming at you every single day of the week now, and yeah, it's just we've gotten a whole lot of excitement, and so please go to thenerdparty.com for more information, and that's where you can find all of our shows and where you can subscribe, whether you're on Android or Apple or whatever device you're on or whatever computer you're on, you can listen to us. We're on every service that you can think of, and you can use our RSS feed. No excuses not to listen to these new shows.
Yeah, and go to iTunes and give us a review, and we actually got one this week.
We did. We got a brand new review, and we are people of our word. And whenever we get a 5-star review, we mention you on the podcast. And we want to thank Captain SFUFP. Oh, I just got what that means. Captain Starfleet United Federation of Planets. Oh, I just got that. Okay. Thank you so much for your kind words. He says that he or she says that we are a role model couple, and that it's like being invited to a nerdy dinner party with a couple down the street. We've gotten a few reviews like that where they say it's just like talking with some nerdy friends of yours, and that really means a lot to us.
It does, absolutely. We really appreciate it, and we'll do our best to live up to the role model part.
Now, earlier I was talking about how you could listen to us on any single device. I have sad news.
Yeah.
My personal device. Okay, this was a great point of pride for me because I have an iPhone 6, so do you, and you have an OtterBox in your case.
I am probably the most clumsy person when it comes to my phone. I probably drop it daily, multiple times a day. And like, I have so many friends that have cute cases and like really fun cases. They have like, pictures on them or whatever. And I'm not allowed to have one because I don't take care of nice things. So I'm like so clumsy. So, I mean, I've dropped it for great heights and I've dropped it multiple times on like tile and yeah, it just.
And that's why you have an OtterBox.
Yeah, and it has protected it.
Yeah, you have a great OtterBox.
I don't have a scratch on that phone.
Not a scratch, not a dent. And I didn't either. And I went naked, like completely naked. No vinyl covering, no case, no nothing. Just like bought it from the store, put it in my pocket for over 2 years.
Yeah.
It was completely naked, not a dent, not a scratch.
It was gold. We called it Gold Leader.
It was Gold Leader.
I named it.
Yeah, thank you. You do a good job with that.
I know.
Very inventive. And so, but then, like Sprint, Verizon, AT&T, all those places switch to lease models. So you don't really own your phone. And so I was like, crap, I better get a case because I need to make this iPhone 6 last as long as possible.
Yeah.
And so I got a case within the...
It was not an OtterBox, though.
It was not an OtterBox because... Do you know what sucked me in? There was a case online and it looked exactly like if Iron Man had an iPhone case.
Is that why you bought it?
That is exactly why I bought it. It was Corvette red with gold trimming.
Well, there you go.
And I was just like, oh, sweet. It looks like Iron Man's phone. And I bought it from China. It was $12. and so I had it within the second week of having it. I was in the bathroom. I was about to brush my teeth, and I set it down on the counter. I didn't set it down on the counter well enough, obviously, and it fell over, slapped itself face down on the tile, and we have curved tile. Mm-hmm. And so it just hit it just right, and I just heard it. I didn't even need to see it.
It's a different sound.
Yes. It's a different kind of sound. I didn't even look down. And so I have a toothbrush in my mouth, and you hear, damn it!
Yeah, you were quite loud. I was surprised how calm you were, though. Like, you were upset, but you were just like, wow. It was more depression than like anger. And I was like, oh, this is not good.
Because the thing is that when you break your phone, you're like, well, like if you're under contract, you're like, well, there's not crap I can do. And if you're over contract, you're like, well, I didn't really want the iPhone 7. Mm-hmm. Like to me, the iPhone 7 wasn't worth the upgrade. They didn't add any new stuff to it, not enough new stuff to it to warrant like, oh, I gotta have it. And then I did my research, and it was $110 to fix it, to fix the screen, just the screen. Or I found out that because our Sprint plan is so old, we can still do the contract, and so we don't have to do the lease.
Yeah.
But that's still like $200 at least to buy a new one.
It's still like, upsetting, especially right now when, we're trying to save for baby stuff, and now but your phone is really sad.
I feel like one of your high school students.
It looks that bad, yeah, because there's so many kids I interact with on a daily basis, and they have their phones and their screens are completely cracked, and it's because their parents are like, yeah, I'm not buying you a new phone. You didn't take care of this one.
Yeah. I remember going.
Maybe that's what we should do with you. Maybe.
Oh, I'm not allowed to get a new one because I don't take care of it. Miss, I drop it 3 times a day.
Yeah, but I got an OtterBox.
Yeah, well, now I need to get an OtterBox, so I understand that now. It's my mistake. I get that. But yeah, when I would go to one of your practices, and you'd take like a 5-minute break or something like that, and then all your kids would whip out their phones, and 9 out of 10 of them had shattered screens. Not just a crack, but shattered screens.
Yours is shattered.
Mine is shattered. And I would go up to them. I'm like, why don't you replace it? And they would tell me exactly what you just said about how their parents are like, no. And I'm like, well, how do you deal with it? And he's like, you get used to it.
Have you gotten used to it?
Kind of.
That's
the sad
really?
part, yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't think I could do that.
But one of the, it's hard because our entire lives are on these things, like our access to our friends, our family, our pictures, and our music. And that's part of part of what we're going to be talking about today is we're going to talk about the importance of music and also the importance of the medium of that music or the format of that music. So we're talking about vinyl and CDs and how that affects scores and soundtracks from movies and your individual pleasure. But before we get into that, we would like to do a little update on The Crown, Netflix original.
Yeah, we finished it. Last week we only watched the first episode,
right?
And now we finished it a few days ago. What did you think?
Well, there's nothing that we can spoil.
No,
because it's all historical. Like
right.
I remember, Lee texted me, Lee Hutchison, fellow host of the network. And he said, he's like, oh man, you're talking about The Crown. I can't listen to this week's Nerd Nuptial. I was like, dude, it's The Crown. It's about the abdication, about Elizabeth II's, crowning ceremony. And it's not called a crowning.
Coronation.
Thank you, coronation. I could not think of the word coronation. I was like, inauguration? That's not right.
That's not right.
And I was just like, I can't ruin anything for you.
And it was just the first episode.
But yeah, it was just the first episode. But we finished it. And so, yeah like we said.
We're not going to spoil anything specifically. We're just going to kind of give our opinions, I guess.
Yeah.
About overall.
It was so slow.
It was. They really took their time. And we felt that in the first episode. And we talked about it last week. But, whew.
But then when the second episode came around, we're like, oh, okay, all right. Like this, it started to pick up steam. It started to get interesting. We started to focus more on Elizabeth and less on the king. Mm-hmm. But then by episode 3, there was only 10 episodes. But by episode 3, you're just like, oh wow, we're back to being slow. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's a victim of history, where they can't just write in a plot twist.
Right. It's like, it didn't happen, so it's not like you can add anything. Mm-hmm. So I mean, even though it's an interesting story, I almost feel like 10 episodes was too much.
Which is so odd to say.
Right.
Because, we were raised on 24 episode seasons. Mm-hmm. And then we've gotten used to 13. And now they're coming out with 10. And sometimes HBO does 8.
Right.
And, like you look at British shows, they're doing 6 episodes.
I feel like it probably would have been okay if it was 6, actually.
I think you're right. I think this should have been a half season order of what is now a half version of what is now a full season.
Right.
What is now considered a full season.
But the costuming, the filming, it was just amazing. And, it definitely lived up to the Netflix quality that you've gotten used to and expect.
Absolutely. You could tell they spent a lot of money on this.
They did. I like the acting. Like, I can't complain about that at all. I think it's just the storyline drags. Mm-hmm. And it's not like you can do anything about that.
Well, I feel like you can't do anything about that in the regard of you can't make stuff up blatantly. Mm-hmm. Because, clearly they're making stuff up because they weren't there for those conversations.
Exactly.
But that you can't make up historical events. But I feel like what you can do is you can pick and choose what you focus on. Mm-hmm. And this felt so rudderless. It just felt like they didn't know where they were going, and they didn't know. Like, the problem is that we've become used to Netflix originals and TV shows in general now, that it's fine to take their time. It's fine to analyze something and move forward. I mean, like Breaking Bad did that, where it definitely took its time in a lot of episodes. But with this one, it was a kind of a victim of, how do I put it? It didn't know which character to focus on. Like, sometimes we'd focus on Winston Churchill, sometimes we'd focus on Philip, sometimes we'd focus on Elizabeth. And I just felt like it needed to pick and choose which elements it wanted to introduce to us a little bit better. And I think what I was starting to say earlier was that there didn't seem to be an overall arc to season 1.
There wasn't really. And I think, especially since it could possibly turn into another season, isn't that the plan?
Oh, very much so.
Okay.
I mean, I think the plan was, and I think I mentioned this last week, was the plan is to have each season be 10 years of her reign or something like that. And I think we got around that.
Yeah, I think so. Roughly.
Maybe roughly. I don't know if it was.
It felt like shorter to me.
It felt much shorter than 10 years. I think it had to have been much shorter than 10 years if you look at the children.
Yeah, I was going to say it felt more like 5 or something. Yeah, even like if you look at the Margaret storyline.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it had to have been less than 10 years. Mm-hmm. You're right. So yeah, it needs to move on to season. I think it will move on to season 2. Because there's a lot of things on Netflix that get a season 2
that's true,
that perform much poorly than that. But
I agree, though. I don't think that there was. I think because this is the start of her reign, it's not like we can say, well, that's the season where she did this. Mm-hmm. I feel like it was more of, well, this is the start of the story. And I think that maybe once there are more seasons, maybe we'll look at it a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm. That could be.
Because, okay, well, this is the start. You have to have this to have the next season and the next season. But I don't know. It was just, I wish that they had, I think you're right. They should have picked and chose like which storylines they actually focused on, because it felt so long. Mm-hmm. It felt like, okay, why are we here? Why are we doing this? Why are we even having this conversation?
Yeah.
Sure, that happened, I'm sure, but let's move on.
I think there was a lot of times while we were watching when we would see, like, for example, like one person said like, oh, I'm gonna have gallbladder surgery. Mm-hmm. And then they hang up the phone, and you expect them to go to another scene or go back to the castle or something like that, but then all of a sudden they show him going under anesthesia, wheeling into the hospital room.
Such filler. Yeah.
And this person is very much a side character.
Mm-hmm.
Very much a side character. And you're asking yourself as an audience member, why is the camera with him? Why are we with him right now? We don't need to see this to understand that he's having surgery.
It felt like we needed to trim a lot of it away.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a lot of fat to trim away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost kind of a catch-22, because they chose certain key events in the first couple of years of her reign, and they focused on some more than others. But I feel like if you're going to do that, like if you're going to go in the direction that I was kind of hoping for, like where you have an overall season, like season arc, where what if you just focus on the coronation? You know, like what if that is like, that's the, like it's the road to coronation. That's season 1. So you have the king's death at the beginning. You have Elizabeth's training.
Yeah.
You know, quote unquote training from Winston for 14 months because she had 14 months before she had the crown laid on her head. And so you have 14 months there to deal with Margaret's, you know, affair with a married man and, you know, like Philip adjusting to his role as a prince of England. And then of course you have, you know, like you still
King
have
of England, right?
No, it wouldn't be
Duke, well, whatever.
No, like a queen never has a king, but
That's
a king
true.
has a queen.
Okay, gotcha.
That's kind of how that works. And so you still have all these storylines to deal with, but do it within those 14 months so that you feel like you're building towards something.
No, I get that. I think that would be a lot smarter and make it shorter. Like make it like 3 episodes. You know, okay.
Well, that would be a miniseries. That's like Sherlock.
Well, yeah, but I mean, to cover that stuff, just the coronation, I don't think you need 10.
I think you could do it in 10.
Really?
I think that's the thing is that
I don't think so.
Wow, I mean, like, but that's the thing. You choose what you want to focus on. You chisel out the drama, or you know
Make it up,
or you manufacture.
I think
it,
you'd
yeah.
have to if you wanted to fill that time.
Well, I mean, we still have a lot of behind the scenes information that is completely made up.
That's
true. Like closed doors conversations. But with what you talked about, I like, because we can't go back and remake season 1. I like your perspective on things about how you need season 1, you need this groundwork in order to move forward. Charlene Schmidt, fellow host of the network on my new show Punch It, which everyone should check out at thenerdparty.com. She gave a similar sentiment about House of Cards, because you and I both didn't like we like season 3 the least out of all 4 seasons of House of Cards. But she kind of took it from a perspective where, yeah, it was a little melodramatic, or it was a little slow, or it was a little convoluted at times, but it laid the groundwork for what is the great season 4.
That's true. I can see that.
We wouldn't have season 4 be as great as it was if it wasn't for what happened in season 3.
Yeah, I can see that.
And so maybe that's how
the crown will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Good.
Way to be positive. Glass half full.
Well, let's talk about music.
Okay, so what spurred this entire conversation?
All right. So today in the mail, we got one of our favorite movie soundtracks on vinyl. And we're a big fan of vinyl. And we thought that we'd talk about, you know, why we are. And the vinyl that we got was the soundtrack to The Fountain by Clint Mansell.
That's right, the score, yeah. And it's one of the most beautiful scores ever written.
Yeah.
And ever performed. And it's mere words cannot describe it, because it's I feel like I might have played a sample of The Fountain music on this network before, actually even before we were at network. On when Filibuster used to be the show called The Nerd Party, and because that's how much I loved it, I was just like gushing over it. And for the longest time, like if you go on any message board online and somebody asks the question, "Hey, what's the one movie score you wish was on vinyl?" Everybody would say The Fountain.
Yeah, it's interesting because the movie we've talked about before is not exactly well received.
No.
But no one can deny that the music's gorgeous.
And we've reached the reason why we got a vinyl is because it's the 10-year anniversary of the movie.
That's so crazy.
10 years ago.
No, it was not.
Yeah, it was. How long have we been together?
10, almost 11, yeah.
Yeah,
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
That was one of the first movies that we enjoyed together.
Oh my gosh.
The Fountain.
I feel old. Yeah, we actually have a hard time listening to the soundtrack just because...
We haven't listened to it yet.
I know!
We got it in the mail today and we have not listened to it yet.
Because it's so emotional. It brings a lot of happy memories, but it's also, you know, the score is very sad.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to almost be in that right frame of mind to listen to it. And it's cute because... recently I've been really stressed out, and the baby will just like react to how stressed out I am. And you've been playing like songs from the fountain on not long excerpts because you don't want to like overplay for the baby, but with your phone you've been playing little pieces of the fountain, and it calms the baby down. At least it calms me down.
It calms
which probably helps the baby, but I choose to believe that the baby is being calmed down. Even if that's not true.
The Fountain is the first album that's like really is that the baby's listening to, that we turn it real low on the phone and put it next to your belly and everything like that. Well, that and Purple Lamborghini by Rick Ross.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and that just that really calms her down.
She loves that song. I remember the first time we started playing Purple Lamborghini by Rick Ross in the car, and it wasn't even particularly that loud, but all of a sudden the bass started hitting I hear you in the passenger side going, oh my God.
Yeah, that was before you can feel the baby move, and now you can, and yeah.
But yeah, so the Fountain is beautiful. It means a lot to us, and not only is it great to listen to, but the vinyl was made by Mondo.com, and a lot of you know what Mondo is. It's a great company who makes t-shirts and posters and vinyl, and it's all limited edition. They get really great artists to do the work that's portrayed on whatever medium, and it's a company that specializes in quality work.
And we're not getting paid by them.
No, we're not. But hey, if Mondo if you guys are listening, throw us a sponsorship if you want. Give us some new merchandise, because do you know what? Oh my gosh. Speaking of Mondo, I am such a victim of this company. Because we received the Fountain in the mail today, and I did a quick search on Mondo just to get their Instagram username so I could tag them on my personal account. And then news popped up and it said Fight Club Mondo. And I immediately went, oh crap. Oh, dang it. Oh no. And I look it up, and they're coming out with a limited edition of the Fight Club score by the Dust Brothers on vinyl in a very, very interesting case where you have to destroy the cover in order to open it.
It says sacrifice.
It says sacrifice, which is so in line with the movie's thinking and is so genius. So you have to destroy the case to open it. And also when you take out the vinyl, it's a swirl pink and white mix, like the soap.
Yeah, the soap.
And it says Paper Street Soap Company.
Yeah.
On it, and I'm just like, oh crap, well, there goes that money,
Yeah, that could be diapers, but no, that's gonna happen.
I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice, and Mondo knows this.
Yep, they're playing right into what we love.
But we're actually gonna frame the artwork of the fountain because it's so utterly beautiful.
Yeah.
But to go back to why is it? Why do I not have a choice? Like, why do I have to buy vinyl? Like, if I own the Fight Club soundtrack on CD, why can't you just stream it on Spotify or Amazon Music or anything like that? And fellow host John Mills asked me that question.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, sell me. Why is vinyl a good thing? And, I guess probably what would you say last year or the year before? Vinyl was even more popular. Like it kind of made it like a resurgence of you saw it everywhere.
About 2 years ago or so.
Yeah. And we go to Barnes and Noble and you'd have entire sections of it. Whereas now you might get one store in the area that has that, at least in our area. So I mean, yeah, we love vinyl.
Yeah. John texted me, he said, because he saw that we made a post on Instagram with you holding the Stranger Things.
That's right.
Soundtrack on vinyl.
We got that this week too. Yeah, and that's an awesome soundtrack too. So you should check that out.
But he said, he's like, okay, why? Like he made a joke. He said, he's like, oh, vinyl. Is that like streaming, but less, less convenient?
Yeah.
And then he texted me privately. Pretty condescending. But he texted me privately and he said, he's like, okay, sell me on vinyl. He wasn't trying to be indignant. He was just like, why do you like vinyl? What,
Sure.
what's going on, Mr. Hipster? And I told him, I said, I was like, there's certain benefits, there's certain actual tangible benefits, and there's some perceived benefits.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what we wanted to talk about today.
Yeah.
It was, you know, with vinyl, there's a lot of people who the quality is, of course, much better than MP3, much better than streaming. Because when you have the master tapes, when you have the original magnetic master tapes, that's, you know, like that is the most information that you could possibly get because of how it's the original recording.
Sure.
And when you go down to CD, you cut the quality in half. And then when you go from ripping an MP3, you cut it in half again. I'm completely making these numbers up, but you understand like the rhythm
Right.
that I'm going in.
Right.
And then
not exactly half, but
you cut the quality down. Like every single time you go down, you cut the quality down. So you go from master tapes to CD, then from CD to MP3, and then from MP3 to streaming. And it's all, you know, you're all losing quality. You're all losing that richness of sound or that depth of sound.
Mm-hmm.
Now with vinyl, you maintain it a lot better.
yeah.
Now, some people argue, I mean, like it depends on what type of vinyl and what type of CD, because there's good CDs and there's good vinyl and there's bad CDs and bad vinyl.
Right.
And so it all kind of depends. I mean, but I will take the best vinyl over the best CD any day.
Yeah.
And some people say it's just because of taste. I say I can actually hear the difference.
Yeah.
I have some audio engineer friends who are like, but with a CD, you get consistency. Like you know exactly, like as an audio engineer, they're like, this is what I heard the band sound like. This is what I'm putting on the computer, and this is what I'm putting on the CD. And it's the same every single time. With vinyl, you know, with the way that it's produced, there can be little variations. Sometimes the beginning of the album can sound different than the end because of the way that it winds closer to the center.
Mm-hmm.
And the depth of the grooves can change over time. The width of the grooves.
And then the weight of the vinyl too also has an impact on that as well.
Exactly. If you could have 180 grams, you know, on a good thick vinyl, but then you can go a little bit lighter to save costs.
Sure.
And the more you pack into a vinyl, the less information. And so the lower the volume and the more noise that goes up. And so really, like, these are all the things that I was talking with John, and he's just like, okay. And so, and then he reveals to me, he's like, I don't really have a good sound system. And I'm like, why didn't you open with that? But the main benefit, even for non-audiophiles, the main benefit for you and I is that it's appointment listening.
Yeah, I feel like when we buy a vinyl or when we like sit down to dinner and we put a vinyl on, which we do every night, we have to choose what we're listening to, and we do. And I like that because it feels much more tangible, and it's like we're making that choice of what we're listening to instead of, like, you know, in my car, I'm going to have like Spotify on or Amazon Prime or like music or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's just going to, like, you know, give me whatever I want, or I'll put it on shuffle.
Right.
But with this, it's like it feels more special. I know it sounds maybe stupid, but it does. It feels more special because it feels like I am making this choice to listen to this music. And, you know, usually it involves us just sitting down and enjoying the music and like taking it easy and actually listening to it, even if we're enjoying dinner at the same time. And so I really enjoy that because I feel like we've kind of lost that with the ability of streaming.
You're absolutely right.
Oh, thank you.
Because I feel the exact same way, because I'm not trying to get overly philosophical here, but it's just the immediacy of it. Mm-hmm. Everything is immediate. And I am not a technophobe. I am the exact opposite of a technophobe. I love technology. Give me as much technology as you can. Make it as immediate as possible. Make it as instant as possible. I love it. But at the same time, I recognize that you're losing something.
Yeah.
Because like as we're laying in bed trying to figure out what to watch, you know, like I'm scrolling through Netflix, can't find anything. Scrolling through my digital library on Vudu, can't find anything. Going through iTunes, can't find anything. And then I just end up settling on something because it's easy, because it's there.
Well, I think that's why we really enjoy keeping our DVDs, is because, you know, when, you know, one of us tells the other to go get a stack of movies to choose from, it's like, okay, we're going to choose to watch this. We're going to put it in and we're going to watch it instead of, I mean, it's the same idea why we don't have television is that we're not just like surfing.
Right.
And, you know, even though we don't have television, we still find ourselves surfing in our own way.
That's true. That is a very solid point, because this is the new version of surfing. This is the new era of channel surfing, is where it's not channel surfing, it's content surfing.
Right.
It's,
exactly.
What am I going to do? We have this new idiot box in front of us in the form of an Apple TV. You know, like, okay, I could go to the YouTube app, just blaze through a bunch of, you know, like Conan videos or SNL videos, or I can go to Netflix and see what's new, or watch Sharknado 500 or whatever. and so just because it doesn't have a number in the corner of the screen doesn't mean you're not channel surfing.
And you are, you know, and I mean, like, I think it's the same deal with music, is that when you have a vinyl, there's something special about it because you have bought it. There's art involved. I don't know. Does that sound silly? But there's art involved with it. Like you have to take it out. You smell the vinyl. I know it sounds stupid, but and then I don't know. It's just like I'm making this choice, and even like to listen to the other side, you have to like get up and
flip it over. Yeah.
Or choose something else.
It takes effort.
It does.
It takes purpose.
It does.
And some would argue, well, like everything you just described, you can get with a CD. A CD comes with art, and
sure,
you know, like you have to choose to put it in. But with the CD, it's always felt so mechanical. So it felt like a piece of office furniture. Like so many things come on a disc. You know, like there's nothing special about it. Like we used to get them in the mail from, you know, AOL. You know, like get 30 minutes free of internet. You know, but with the vinyl, it feels special. It feels unique. It feels like true ownership.
You know, I wonder, though, if part of the specialness of it is that it was more of like our parents' generation.
I think that has a huge part of it. Yeah.
Because when, one Chris, I think it was like maybe 2 years ago, we had our hipster Christmas is what we called it. And I got a Polaroid camera, and I got you our turntable. And when we got them, we went through our parents' vinyls, and we were like basically took them all because they're like, no, we're not using them anymore.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want them? And although there were some that they were like, I don't know if you can have that one.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah.
They don't have a working turntable.
No. They still didn't want to give it up.
They still didn't want to give it up. And I was like, well, are you going to listen to it? Well, we might get a new one someday soon.
Yeah, like, no, you're not.
Happened.
No, you're not.
Yeah. Been 2 years, still hasn't happened. But yeah, so like I stole a whole bunch of Beatles albums from my parents, and we stole a whole bunch of musicals from your parents,
which I listen to often, so whatever. My dad had like a bunch of like Oklahoma and
Fiddler on the
Roof, and I was like, cool.
Sound of Music.
That's right.
Yeah. No, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think definitely, I think it's something from another age.
It is.
And we understand that.
It's almost like preserving it as well. It's like preserving that piece of the past. And, you know, like even the idea of when, I don't know, there's something more special about when we go to a place that has vinyls and like searching through the vinyl. Sorry, vinyl, not vinyls. You know, searching through the vinyl records, it feels more like, okay, I'm making this choice. It's like a hunt.
Yes.
Versus, you know, not that anyone does this anymore, looking for CDs, but, you know, those were all like, you can just see them there. I don't know. I mean, I guess you'd still have to search for CDs.
Well, no,
it just feels
I like
more...
it though, because not everything is on vinyl.
That's true.
And so when you're searching for something and you find it,
it's like a big deal.
You feel like you find something. You're just like, oh my God, I didn't know this was on vinyl. You know, it's just like, I didn't know this existed.
That's true.
And there's a lot of stuff that doesn't exist on vinyl.
That's
but
very
you can
true.
find almost anything on a CD. You can find almost anything on iTunes. And so it's not special.
It's more purposeful. And also, I even think the idea of when they only make a limited number.
Right. With
vinyl, it's more special too.
I'm glad you brought that up, because one soundtrack, one score that I really want is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah.
As you know, we've constantly talked about it on the show.
Course.
It's one of our favorite movies. The score is genius by Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor. They work with David Fincher a lot, and they worked with him for Social Network and Gone Girl. You actually got me the Gone Girl on vinyl,
right?
Just because you knew that I needed something by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross
and
together.
We couldn't get the Dragon Tattoo one
because it was limited edition.
Exactly.
And they made a very few number. Now there's some out there on eBay, but I don't want to spend $350
right.
on a soundtrack that I could buy on CD.
Right. Yeah, it's true.
But the thing is, the Tron Legacy soundtrack was the same way, where they made a limited edition, and I love Daft Punk and I love Tron Legacy soundtrack. I think it's great. I think it's one of the best scores out there. I don't care what you think. I don't care what the listeners think. I love it. And so I was really chagrined because I couldn't have it on my turntable, but then they re-released it.
Yeah.
And pissed off everybody who had the limited edition versions.
That's true.
And it looks exactly like the limited editions, except it just doesn't have a little number in the corner.
Yeah, it's a little cruel.
It is a little
it's
cruel.
a little cruel because they did it just because there was an outcry of like, oh no, I didn't get it in time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that's the thing. I don't really care about having a limited edition version. I want that sound. I want that feeling.
Although we do choose where we buy certain vinyls because of like the color of different ones.
Shut up. Why did you have to bring that up? By the way, you said vinyls again.
Oh my gosh, you know what? Leave me alone. Leave me alone. No, I feel like, I think, what was it, Urban Outfitters?
I'm
Outfitters?
so ashamed that I shop at Urban Outfitters, but the only reason why I shop there is for the vinyl, because they used to have a fantastic vinyl collection. They used to have a huge collection.
When it was popular, like 2 years ago.
When there was this big resurgence 2 years ago. Now, they had like an entire wall of vinyl. Now you're lucky if you get a rack. Mm-hmm. And they would usually have a lot of limited edition special coloring where, like, if you ordered it on Amazon, it would be black vinyl. But if you got it at Urban Outfitters, it would be pink or multicolored or something like that. Or there'd be a different cover. And I was a sucker.
I wonder how that affects the sound.
You know what? It affects my enjoyment. And that is half the battle.
That's right.
Affects the sound. That is a low blow.
What? I'm just saying. I mean, I would be interested to know the research.
I wanted my special edition cover of Lana Del Rey's Ultraviolence with the green first disc and the purple second disc, okay? You know what? It sounds great.
It does? Okay, good.
When I put it on,
glad.
I'm like, man, does that sound green to you? I think it does. Sounds like enjoyment.
Well, you just went over like this, how the sound is affecting, and then we choose ones that are like colorful. And I just wondered if it affects the sound. I wonder if there was like any scientific principle of that.
You know damn well that there's no scientific principle on the color affecting the sound. You're just trying to put me in my place.
Just a little.
Because I corrected you on vinyl versus vinyls.
Exactly. Bring it. Come here.
Vindictive.
Bring it.
Vicious is what you are. Anyway. I guess, okay. Limited editions, whatever. I do enjoy them when I can get them, but I'm not going to go, with limited editions, like, if it's the same price, but I just have to go to a separate store, yeah, I'll go to the separate store and get them because it's special. But if there's, like...
In a color.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, just checking.
Jeez, let it go. I will get it
Go ahead.
if it's the same price but just at a different location. But if it's like $20 more or double the price, no, not worth it to me.
Okay.
So monetarily, it's not worth it.
That's right.
But a couple extra minutes to go to a different location, yes, it is worth it to me.
So
I'm not the loser that you're painting me.
No,
as.
I'm not. I'm not saying that. Actually, I wanted to share that last Christmas you did something really cool for me, and
That's right.
you actually made you had it pressed.
I had it pressed.
A vinyl for basically our mixtape of our dating life when we, back that long ago, like some of our favorite songs, and you were able to get it pressed, and then you made a a cover for it and everything. And
a lot of work went into that.
Yeah, a lot of work did.
And it was very expensive.
Yes, because you can't just get one vinyl.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard to do. That's the thing. They whenever you want to make a profit on something, you have to mass produce it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you incur your profit and make it cost effective. Doing one-offs, super expensive.
Yeah.
But worth it.
It was. It was awesome.
That was definitely not for the sound.
No,
because
it was for
the nostalgia and the effort and the symbol that it was, because I found a company that did it. It's completely legal, completely legit. And I did my research. And what they do is you tell them what songs you want, and then you can send them the highest grade digital files that you can find legally, and then you send it to them. It's something about the Mixtape Act of 1992. I'm not even making that up.
Mixtape Act?
It really is a thing.
That's awesome.
And that's what makes this legal. And so I sent it to them. And then they pressed it, and it is a super thick
Oh my
vinyl.
gosh, it's like our heaviest one.
It's our heaviest one, and they shipped it to us. And I designed the album artwork myself, and even an insert and everything like that. And then I went to Kinko's and got the dimensions, cut it out with an X-Acto blade, glued it together, made a sleeve, and it was
awesome.
And then gave it to you. Yeah, it's all the songs that mean something to us while we were dating, during our wedding, and when we first got married.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So I took the mixtape to the next level.
Oh, yeah, you did. You definitely did.
I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we were dating, we used to always make CDs for each other.
Mm-hmm.
We would rip our favorite songs and then share them with each other and be like, hey, this is some music I like. And it was just cool that, I don't know, we were able to put it on vinyl, which is something that we like now.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of preserve that part of us.
And it's something that's ours. It's something that we like to do together.
Mm-hmm.
We'd like to go to old record shops and also Barnes and Noble when we get to one that has a vinyl section, and it's something that we like to shift through, and where you're standing in front of the racks and you're fiddling through it with your fingers, and you're just like, ooh, every once in a while we hear each other go, oh my god, this exists.
Exactly.
And it really. You could talk about being an audiophile until we're blue in the face, or hearing the difference in the quality because something's green or purple. And but like you said before, it's really because of the experience. It's not, you can't put it on shuffle. You can't bring it up on your phone. You do not have millions of hours of music to choose from in this little rectangle. You go over to your shelf, you go over to your bin. You go through it, you shift through it, figure out what you want to listen to. You think about it. Yeah. You think about your mood.
It's true.
You think about what you want to listen to alter said mood or improve that mood. And then you decide, pop it in, you talk, you listen. And that's the thing, is that you and I never did that before. We've never put in a CD and just sit down and listen.
That's true.
But with vinyl, we would put take the needle out, put it on, and then sit down and enjoy the music. Yeah. Sometimes not even talk, just enjoy the music.
It's true. Or read to it or something like that. And even when we have company over, usually we're playing something with our turntable. It just I don't know, it just feels more, we're making that decision, and it just feels more special. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's what I was trying to equate it to with movies and other things like that, is because we stand in front of our DVD shelf, our Blu-ray shelf, and try to we can actually see it in front of us, and we have to think about it. And with we might as well put movies on shuffle nowadays because we have so much in front of us.
It's true.
And like the Simpsons, on the FX app.
Oh yeah.
There is a literal shuffle button. So you can just get
Bring
a random
up whatever
episode.
You want, yeah.
No, I'm not knocking that because that's awesome.
Well, especially with a show like The Simpsons.
Yeah, I very much wanted an American Dad shuffle button or a Family Guy or Simpson shuffle button. So I think that's definitely cool. But this is the anti-shuffle. Mm-hmm. Is listening to vinyl. Mm-hmm. And for that, I think we appreciate it. It's not for everybody. No. It's more expensive, but we only buy the albums that we love the full album.
Yeah, it's true. And it's can we live without this? Yeah. Then we skip it. But, you know, especially with movie scores, we really like getting those because those are just so much fun to listen to because it reminds us of something that we love.
Yeah. I was trying to think of some ones that we don't have that I would like to have, and I feel like we need to save that for another time.
Yeah, I think so. I think we could do.
Because the top of my list is Fight Club.
Well, we already know that's happening.
It's true. They have my money already.
That's right.
I don't even know how much it's going to be, and they already have my money. Oh, Mondo! All right, well, that's our show, folks. Thank you so much for listening and subscribing and downloading and everything that you do. Please go to thenerdparty.com and check out all of our shows. We normally give you a kind of a rundown of what shows are out there. Now we have too many to do that.
It's true, yeah.
And that excites me.
It
And
is.
thank you so much for listening, because without you guys, this would not have happened, this growth of the network and these great many unique voices that we have coming at you every single day of the week would not be possible without listeners like you. And so one thing that you should do is you should go to lootcrate.com/nerdparty. From there, you can subscribe to a great Geekbox subscription service where you'll get Pop Funkos, T-shirts, Pop Vinyls. I already said that.
More Pop Funkos.
More Pop Funkos. It's just like you can get all these things. $40 worth of merchandise for less than $20. Go to lootcrate.com/nerdparty. Enter in code nerdparty, and you'll save even more money off of that. One other thing you should do is go to nerdsandbeyond.com, a great news source for your nerd needs. I love them, and you'll love them too. I love you.
I know.
And you open the door and you step inside. We're inside our hearts. Now imagine your pain is a white ball of healing light. That's right, your pain, the pain itself, is a white ball of healing light. I don't think so.
Join the revolution. Join the Nerd Party.